Hello everyone. So, in about 19 days from now, Donald Trump will be elected the next president of the United States. And after that happens, the questions will start swirling around, such as why did Hillary Clinton lose the election? What did she do wrong? Things of that nature, okay? And so I'm going to go over those reasons right now, the reasons why Hillary Clinton is going to lose the election. And this is going to be broken up into two sections. The first section is going to be things that were beyond her control. That's things that she had no control of, things she couldn't change these things, but things that were against her, okay? And the second part is things that were within her control. There's things that she could have changed that would perhaps help her become president, okay? So, things that were beyond her control, on the first part, the most glaring and obvious one is the fact that she was a woman, okay? Now, there's obviously millions of people, or millions of women, who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton just because she's a woman. And equally so, there's going to be millions of people, men or women or whatever, going to vote against Hillary Clinton just because she's a woman. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm going by our past presidents. If you look at all of the United States past presidents, none of them have ever been a woman. So because of that, the probability of her becoming president is zero. Now, some people think that because probability is zero, that means something is impossible to happen. And that's not true. Let's take, for example, Barack Obama. When Barack Obama was running for the presidency, his probability of winning the presidency was as well zero because no black person, half black person, whatever, had ever been president before. But obviously he won, right? Okay, again, because probability doesn't have anything to do whether something's going to happen or not. It's simply the odds or the likelihood of something happening. Okay, so obviously, again, Obama, he beat all the odds and he ended up becoming president. And ironically, it is because Obama winning the presidency that Hillary Clinton has an even lower chance of being president, way lower chance of being president. And again, as the title states, that's why, one of the reasons why she lost the election before the election even began, before she even began running for president. And to give you an example for that, let's hypothetically say that Obama had never won the election. Let's say in 2008 that instead John McCain won the election, and he was president for the next 8 years. And so this would be the final year of his term, and Hillary Clinton would be running. She would have a much better chance of becoming president if Obama had never won, because those odds had never been broken before. Okay, it's like if someone wins the lottery, for example. Okay, the odds of any given person winning the lottery are kind of astronomical. Say 1 in a couple 100 million. All right. Now, what are the odds of you winning the lottery, and say one of your immediate siblings winning the lottery? The odds of something like that happening become even greater. It's the odds are high enough that you're going to win, let alone you and someone especially someone close to you winning. Okay, and so again, the fact that he won, that Barack Obama won, made it more unlikely for Hillary Clinton to become president. And if that had never happened, like I said, I would almost say that her chances of becoming president are 50-50 percentage, if not even greater. I would say that the odds of her women would be even greater right now, that no one had ever broke through those odds, no one had ever broke through that barrier. Let's say, again, if Obama never become president, her chances of becoming president this time around would be great, really great, okay? So that is the first thing that hurt her. The second thing that was beyond her control that hurt her was the fact that she's short. Again, going off our past presidents, we have had past presidents who are short, but none of them within the past 100 years or so have been as short as Hillary Clinton. Now, I have no idea why people vote, whether it's conscious or subconscious, but the fact is that our past several presidents, say 5 or 6 presidents, have all hovered around 6 feet. Okay, it's a little bit of a trend. And so the fact that Hillary Clinton is only 5'7", that also makes it unlikely for her to become president. Again, I don't know why people tend to vote for taller individuals for president, but they do. Again, that's happened for the past several presidents row, and again, you'd have to go back almost 100 years to find a president who was as short as Hillary Clinton. And so, again, as the title states, before she even began running for president, this is another thing that hurt. Okay, thing number 3. The fact that Hillary Clinton was the First Lady of the United States. Okay, again, no one in the history of the United States has been the spouse of the president and has later become the president. Okay, now, like I said earlier, just because the probability, the probability of someone going from first spouse to president is 0. That doesn't make it impossible, but it's just another thing added on to her unlikelihood of becoming president. And so when you put all these things, 3 things together, things that she would have to beat the odds on. She would have to beat the odds on being a woman, being the first woman to become president. She would have to beat the odds on being a short person, 5'7" individual, in which no one has in 100 years. And then beating the odds of being the first person to go from first spouse to president. That makes it so unlikely that's how I know, that's how I'm so certain that she's going to lose, that she did lose, and you'll see that in 19 days, okay? And so that's the end of the things that's beyond her control. Now, let's talk about the things that were within her control. A few of the things that were within her control that she did not do wrong was kind of how she ran her campaign. She spoke well, eloquently, answered questions properly. She did all those things well. And you could say, well, the emails, 30,000 emails she deleted, all that kind of stuff. No, that had nothing to do with it. Even though, that was something within her control, I don't think that had anything significant to do with her losing the election. But the one thing that she did wrong, that totally, totally hurt her chances of becoming president, was not choosing Bernie Sanders for her running mate. It's so much so that if she had just chose him, I don't care about deleted emails or, the Benghazi thing. I don't care if she kicked the baby on the street. If she would have chosen Bernie Sanders, her odds of becoming president, she might have broke the barrier on all the 3 things that I mentioned, just if she would have picked Bernie Sanders. He had so much support, and combined with, like I said, the women who want to support her just because she's a woman, that combined ball of support would have perhaps propelled her to becoming president. And so that was one of the biggest mistakes that she made, something that was within her control, which obviously, like I said, the thing being short and being a woman, things that are beyond her control. Okay? But she didn't do that. She didn't choose Bernie Sanders as her running mate, and as a subsequent result of that, she lost the election, or she will, again, in 19 days from now. And also, unfortunately, for Hillary Clinton, this is kind of the final throes of Hillary Clinton. You're not going to see her running for president anymore. She's almost 70 years old, so by the time the next election comes around, she's going to be about 73, 74 years old. Too old. She's already, pushing her health and her age. She probably won't run for any other major office. She probably won't get any other major political position. And she's just going to kind of just descend into obscurity after she loses the election, after November 8th. Which is kind of sad. Hillary, she's been around for some 30 years, and it's going to finally be time for her to retire, of sorts. She may do a little thing in politics, but nothing major. Okay. Now, that's not to say, just because Hillary's going to retire of sorts from running for the president, that no woman will ever be president. Matter of fact, I strongly believe that in 2020, when the next presidential election comes around, that is going to be a very ripe time for a woman to become president. Not Hillary Clinton, some perhaps unknown woman. And the reason being for that is because in 2020, that's going to be the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote. In the United States, women didn't get the right to vote until 1920, and so 2020, 100 years from that. And so because of that, I believe that that's going to propel, or the odds are good that will propel some woman, whether Democrat or independent, into the presidency. Very good chance that. I'm not, 100%, maybe not even 80% sure. Say somewhere over 50, I would give a 50%, over 50% likelihood that some woman is going to become president in 2020. Very strong likelihood, but not guaranteed. However, I will guarantee you, absolutely guarantee you, one thing about 2020, the presidential election, and that is Donald Trump will not, I repeat, will not win again. He will not be reelected as president. The reason being I say that is because many of the things that he's promising now, building this wall and, not letting Muslims come in the country, all kinds of things, he's not going to come through with all those things, let alone probably even one or two of those things. He's going to be a huge disappointment to the Republicans. He's going to be the laughingstock of Democrats. He already is. They're going to continue to make fun of him for the next 4 years. Also, by the time re-election comes around, he's going to be, 74, almost 75, something like that, or 74 years old. He's going to be older. He's not going to really care anymore. He's not going to be re-elected. If you want to put your money on something, again, I'm not guaranteeing that a woman's going to run or going to win, but I do guarantee you start saving your money now. You save 25 cents a day or $1 a day, whatever it is, every day until the next election, and you put your money on anybody besides Trump, who I don't care who's running against him. You put your money on that person because they're going to win. Donald Trump will not win. That's my guarantee to you. Okay? Anyhow, as for me, like I said, some 19 days until the election. But as for me, this is it. I'm not going to discuss the presidential election or presidential politics anymore. There's 19 more days. I'm not going to say any more things about any of the people running all the way until like a year before the next election. I won't discuss presidential politics, I'm telling you right now, until around 2019, even if I'm even making YouTube videos at that time. So I'm going to continue to make videos about other random things, but not politics. So as far as that's concerned, I'm done with presidential politics. I know there would be a lot of naysayers on the other side of this screen, and that's fine. It's hard to just believe somebody who's just spouting these things, and it's hard to imagine that someone could predict something like the presidential election, especially almost 20 days in advance and be so specific, So I understand your skepticism if you thumb down the video and all that kind of stuff. I understand, but regardless, it's going to happen, and Trump will be the next president of the United States.